Hey there, folks. My name is Lucas Martin. I'm our business development manager here at ARC Advisory Group. Our analysts make it a priority to monitor the key technology changes, vertical industries, and any regional trends impacting the global business environment as a whole. This is a new market update segment where I'll pick the minds of our industry experts here at ARC Advisory Group. We'll chat about the scope of the market, the supplier landscape, key growth and success factors, and any key trends they may have discovered through their research. Now, let's not waste any more of your time and hop right into the interview. Welcome back to another market update episode. Today, I'm joined by Jim Frazer, a senior analyst here at ARC Advisory Group. Jim recently finished a 2023 Global Market Analysis Report on Advanced Metering Infrastructure, or AMI, and I wanted to set up some time to share a little bit more with the audience. Jim, thanks a lot for the time. Can you just touch on the scope of this market analysis report and maybe some of the bandwidth that had gone into producing it?
Well, Luke, thanks for having me today. The scope of this report is quite extensive. It examines the global market for advanced metering infrastructure from the years 2022 out to 2027. We cover a range of sectors. That's the residential, commercial, and industrial markets. We focus on the three main applications for AMI, which is gas, water, and electricity. We touch on all the various components that comprise that infrastructure. That's the terminal devices, the backhaul technologies, cloud services. We look at growth trends across four major regions. That would be Asia, Amir, North America, and Latin America. And we even drill down to country-specific geographies as well. In addition, we provide insights into almost 100 ecosystem participants, suppliers, and many of those may be of interest for acquisition candidates if some larger suppliers are interested in verticalization efforts. When we look at all 100 of those, we analyze those leading suppliers and their product mix. We have smaller amounts of research into some of the earlier market entrants. But then again, we look at some smaller pieces of the technology in terms of communication modules, communication technologies, is it wireless or power line, data collectors, software platforms, even the benefits and challenges of whether they're battery powered or line powered, for example.
Is there anything else regarding the supplier landscape you wanted to mention? Maybe a bigger player or two, or an up and coming one that was exciting?
Yeah, at the risk of leaving out a number of suppliers, I'll just touch on some of the major ones that we really do focus upon. There's Itron, known for its AMI and energy management solutions. Landis & Gyr, a Swiss company that provides AMI systems. Elster, a German-based firm with energy management and AMI solutions. We also discuss in depth Aclara and Sensus, both American-based companies offering energy and water management solutions. Kamstrup is a Danish firm with energy and water management solutions as well. But those are just the tip of the iceberg, and there's also many upcoming suppliers that are making their mark that are listed in our study.
Great. Jim, while you were doing the research, did you uncover a key growth or success factor you wanted to share with the audience?
Thanks for that question, Luke. There are quite a few. Growth in the AMI market is driven by a variety of factors. The first I'll mention is standardization. It's critical, especially for the support of electric vehicle charging applications and photovoltaic inverter systems. Government bodies and international standards development organizations are working in a variety of ways on interoperability, true interoperability across all 7 OSI layers. I touched number 2. I'll probably revisit EV charging, because that is a hugely growing sector. A few years ago, the penetration rate was 1%. Now I think it's 6 or 7% of all vehicles are now electric being sold in North America. But there's a lot of support required for DC fast charging, portable charging stations, and smart charging load management. Number three, one of the growth factors of that, we're really hitting a price tipping point where the perceived value is really becoming perceived as being much larger than the cost of the system. Of course, along with the EV charging piece is the growing demand from consumers for zero emission transportation and increasing environmental consciousness across the world. And in fact, the electrification of just about everything. And then last, and one that really dovetails with my earlier study of EV charging systems, is vehicle to grid technology, because these electric vehicles are not only just a clean transportation source, but they're a mobile source of power. And there are instances even today where you can engage in some energy arbitrage by buying low-cost power in the evening and selling it back to your provider at, say, 3 p.m. when the cost of energy is much higher.
You kind of touched on it. It sounds like the perceived value is really kind of starting to come to fruition. But do you have any strategies you would recommend to buyers of systems like this?
Well, before I go there, it's not all rosy. There are some inhibiting factors. So let me touch on those. There are regulatory hurdles that introduce costs and delays. The government is involved in much of this. There's some privacy concerns. So we discussed that in detail in our study. Of course, supply chain issues are a large issue. Not only the COVID related ones, but rare earth minerals and many different things there. And of course, it's arguable, but it looks like that we're in a recessionary phase. Between inflation and recession is a challenge today. But I'll jump ahead to your question of what strategies do you recommend for buyers? Well, first, there's a switching cost, and you're going to be with your supplier for a long time. So number one, we discuss that's very important to consider the long-term health of your supplier and really evaluate them on the entire life cycle cost of the AMI. It's certainly not first in cost. It's your acquisition cost, your maintenance, your runtime cost, expandability. Are you going to be will there be an obsolescence of what you have, or is it open and can grow with you for conceivably decades? Of course, number two, I would say the reducing greenhouse gas emissions. What does your AMI system really do there? I had touched on interoperability and open standards a couple of times already in our brief conversation, but that's really very important because the interoperability and the openness allows you to build upon what you have and not have that obsolete scenario. And then, of course, look very carefully at the terminal device of the smart meter for support such as different billing methods, current and future, real-time billing. Is the meter prepared to support EV charging, PV, home PV-based systems, and things like that?
It sounds like obviously whatever supplier you pick, it's got to be a very thoughtful decision. And I wanted to remind the audience that ARC Advisory Group does help with things like this. We have our technology selection guides. We also have our STAR process where our analysts can really meet with the key stakeholders at your company so we can really try to help pick the best supplier in this market. Hey, Jim, I was curious, did you notice any other key trends or points you wanted to share with the audience? I know we're running short on time here.
Yeah, there's a number. Smart meters are becoming, we're actually in the AMI 2.0 world is an acronym or a buzzword that's being used today. And it really means that we have an open, perhaps even Linux-based smart meter that can run apps. And some of the more exciting applications for me are waveform analysis applications that can look into your home or business and see if your water heater is running, your air handler, what light switch is on. as well as look upstream, up and perhaps with capacitive coupling, even over the transformer, so that it could even diagnose some anomalies or real-time activities in the substation. So that's very interesting. It's on the horizon. Multiple meter chipsets in one particular meter to support that EV charger and that PV device. Then in a larger sense, grid modernization is a big trend. Cloud-based platforms, across all industries is influencing this. A growing demand for analytics. And then while we talked about PV and electric vehicles, there's a larger range of distributed energy resources that are increasingly need to be supported. So all of those together are influencing the industry.
Well, thanks a lot for the time today, Jim. I know we're running out. I just wanted to remind the audience that, again, we can only fit so much content in these interviews, and it really just barely scratches the surface of detail included in these reports. We'll have links to our website and more information about this market analysis in the description below. You can contact us directly through those web pages. We'd love to discuss how market data, analysis, selection guides, and reports like this can help your company out. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next market update episode.
Thank you very much, Luke.